Tell you about my top five beginner tarantula tips, and yeah, we'll get on with it. Okay, so as my first sort of tip, if you're looking for a tarantula to get, I would advise that you have one of these buggers, is a Brachypelma hamori or a smithy, or you can possibly get a curly hair, which is just here. No, that's sorry, don't worry about that. That's not a curly hair. It's my Lasiodora parahabana, another one. Salmon pink bird eater. A curly hair, which burrows a lot, but they're pretty cool. Or or a Brazilian white knee. I'm going to change his enclosure because, as you can see from this corner, he has mold, and we'll move on to that later. Part of that is so to do your research, basically. Always look into buying these sorts of things, like tarantulas and things, how they're set up, how other people's go onto Facebook groups and things like that and join them and ask questions. I know it might seem a bit rude, or if you feel stupid asking questions, you can always, do certain things to get answers, but it's just one of those things. Part of buying you can start off with any tarantula you like. There's no set thing to say that, oh, you have to have a beginner tarantula. These are just what we call beginner tarantulas because they're roughly the easiest ones that have the lowest maintainability, if that makes sense. So you don't have to keep them on super high humidity or anything like that, anything special that needs any special requirements. We'll move on to tip number 2. In number 2 of the tips that I have, if you're looking to get a small tarantula, nothing really big like a sling, be prepared to deal with it, obviously being sometimes a pain, like this big butt. This is Acanthus geniculata, or the Brazilian white knee. And what they like to do is tip their water dish everywhere, or fill it up with substrate, whichever one which happens, but you just carry on. And you don't need super big enclosures for them. As you can see here, this is just a muffin box that I got from Poundland, or you could probably find them in Target and things like that. But if they're really small, you can get these. These are called sling pots. You can get about 10 of them for, I don't know how much money, because I can't remember. Or if they're still really small, you can, when you buy them food, put them in these, which are cricket boxes that you don't need to put ventilation holes in because they already have them. You just have to put your substrate and your hide or something like that, anything like that. And yeah, so you don't need massive setups for tarantulas because they don't need a lot of space. We'll move on to tip number 3. Okay, tip number 3. What I'm going to tell you is sort of a personal thing, or it's sort of down to you. If you want to handle your tarantula, make sure you take really good care in making sure that the tarantula that you're holding is, one, in very low to the ground so they don't hurt themselves if they jump or fall off, because most tarantulas, or if not all, prefer to want to run and not be your friend because you're big and scary. And 2, make sure you're not bit by the tarantula, so you're taking precautions to not get hurt, basically. Sorry, I'm just trying to yeah. But another thing is, you don't want to also, I know it sounds bad, but when you're doing this with your tarantulas, these guys can kick hairs. These are new worlds, so what they can do is, you see this sort of patch on their butt, they can kick hairs at you from where they're standing, and they can cause really bad itching. I found that they cause, well, I had my Brachypelma homori throw hairs at me, and they come up in splotches on your arms, and they're horrible and itchy and as for being bitten, I haven't, because I don't handle them. I try and take them in a safe measure by using a plastic tub like that, or anything to sort of capture them and make sure that they're safe. Because, yeah, like she just did, she just kicked hairs everywhere, and I don't want those in me. You don't want to inhale hairs or anything, because when they get into your throat, you can imagine if they're itchy on your skin, they're going to be really itchy on your body, in your throat and everything. So let's try and, we're going to try and move her, because she's currently in a pre-molt, but I want to get her out of here because of the mold. Stop kicking hairs, lovely. But yeah, we'll move on to a tip number 4. Tip number 4, and I don't know how many tips this is. It's probably, I'll find it. But get yourself one of these, a nice little paintbrush, so you can gently get your tarantula in and out of their enclosure and things like that, because they don't mind sort of that. As you can see, she doesn't particularly like it at the moment because she's not friends with me. But most tarantulas will react in a different way and start to move with this more than being poked with a stick. Because if you imagine that they feel that, oh yeah, you're poking me with a stick, well, you're just a big predator and you're scary. So what I'd advise is you can go to Poundland or anything like that, or Target, I don't know where you guys are, and you can pick yourself up some of these nice little brushes that don't hurt your tarantula, or shall I say calm them a little bit. Okay. I've just been trying to get her into this for the last couple of minutes, and she doesn't want to play ball. Okay, right, we'll move on to the next one. What I'm saying is, I would advise that if you're going to get a first tarantula, you should always look into getting a new wild tarantula, as they are much more, they are much more compliant and less likely to want to eat you at first sight. Now, if I could not get shot in the face with hairs, that would be lovely. Don't, mademoiselle. Ooh, she did a little bolt on me. But yeah, for the most part, getting a nice new wild is always good. I understand every tarantula will have its own personality. So it's like every cat and dog. Some will be like what other people's are, and some will be, that's a stick on the floor, and some will be like, I don't like you, go away, I hate you. But that's just how they come. I don't know what the tip this is. This is just a little bit to add on to the other bit. Another thing, when you go and buy substrate, as in this stuff, cocoa fibre, you can get a big massive blocks of it on eBay for very cheap, very cheap. And you can get some of this stuff, which is topsoil. Never use unorganic topsoil, as it can cause tarantulas to die, as it has fertilizers in it. And obviously, as you know, where tarantulas live, there's no fertilizers. Only what things die. But yeah, that's part of that. So yeah, we'll move on to whatever next. Another little tip is, if you're wanting a small cork bark piece like these sort of bits that are small and really convenient, you can buy them in sort of bulk on eBay as well. As sorry, I'm looking for a hide at the moment for this whitey, because he needs a nice new house. Anyway, yeah, you just want to provide substrate, water, sort of stuff like that, anything that you can. Obviously, you can, even with drier species, I know some people get this wrong, but even with drier species, you have to think in the wild it would rain. So they would have water on the soil or the substrate or whatever you use, and it would they would then drink it off of the substrate, which you can get. Another one of these very fun things is one of these from Poundland again. As you can tell, I shop quite cheap, and you can just, it's just as easy as that. It's just a little mist, or you can probably attach another bit onto it that gives it a finer mist. You just give it a little water over like that, so it doesn't sink all the way down, but so it just glazes the top, and then you do that every once a week. Easy as pie. If we are going into feeding, which I will, what we're going to do feeding wise is you can get yourself a big tub, sort of similar to this. Ignore this, this is not meant to be here because I done that myself. And you can make your own roach farm, which I have, or you can do your own cricket sort of thing, or you can just buy crickets from the store every, if you have slings, I would say every month, because normally my ones have lasted a month, because you have to feed your crickets, obviously, like carrots and things like that. It's, yeah, you know, just sort of little bits. They can eat almost anything, so you can give them cat food if you really want to. That's like a hard cat food. You can do the same thing with roaches, because they can eat almost anything. You can give them probably cat food and they'll probably be fine with it, as long as you give them some sort of moisture factor, like carrots or oranges, which I found are really good. Mango, pumpkin, anything like that, that's like fruit based or plant based, is sort of works. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the video of my like little beginner tips sort of thing, give or take. But I know it's just mostly been me trying to rehouse this bugger, but yeah. Hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves, and I hope that the beginners maybe watching this, or people who are new to this, have understood it well and seen what goes on, sort of thing. And hopefully you will, let me get her in here and let me sort that out. Hopefully you'll understand, hopefully you like the video. If you do like the video and you do want more of these sort of tip videos that are a bit different to, let's say, the feeding videos, or a mix of both, like feeding videos and tip videos, or anything like that, if you would sort of want any of those sort of, I don't know, man, if you just want any of those, let's put it that way, then let me know in the comments. Just tell me, say something, man. I don't mind, honestly. But yeah, just be good to your pets, and hope you all have a good day. See ya. Whoosh. And look, she's in. Just as I say goodbye, she gets in a nice new house. How weird. Right, I'll see you guys later. Bye. Any of those sort of, I don't know, man. If you just want any of those, let's put it that way, then let me know in the comments. Just tell me, say